Hello everybody, Buddy with Midland, Texas. Got a super video for you tonight, and we're going to start out with the tripwire lie, and then there's a comment under here from a former MPD police officer named Chance Rayner that you're going to find real interesting too. This is a really good video here, and it's going to cover a lot of information, and so here, just let me stop right off the bat. I got this message today, and here it is right here at the top. It says, "Buddy, did you have a tripwire set up the day you were shot?" I said, "Absolutely not." And that was a lie made up by Detective Rosie Rodriguez alone. She was the lifelong friend of the ex-wife that is alleged to be involved in the shooting. The evidence shows that no tripwire is listed in evidence, and it would be there if this was true. And none of the other 10 police mention a tripwire, including CSI Marty Barrett, that picked up my gun and checked it into evidence, and with multiple proofs showing that I wasn't shot with my shotgun. This dirty cop, Rosie Rodriguez, testified at the protective order hearing in December 2013 to this lie, which is called aggravated felony perjury. She needs to go to prison for this lie, as she was covering up a premeditated capital attempted murder that left an innocent homeowner crippled for life. To make this worse, I had been reporting burglaries to the police, and then I'm shot during a burglary in my home, and now it's known that police were under my home that night. Okay, that starts it out. And here's a picture here. This was actually a video. Dirty Detective Rosie Rodriguez, because there was a lot of stuff Rosie Rodriguez did. You know, she's right here in this picture right here. She met me at the 7-Eleven after I crawled out and then said she wasn't there. She climbed in my truck and was giving me first aid. And then later I see on the police reports, she said she wasn't even there. April Chandler lied and said she climbed in my truck. One's a blonde and one's a Hispanic older woman. You can see that. And in this picture right here, you can see where Rosie Rodriguez is leaned over my nightstand, and I believe she was planting my stolen cell phone. My cell phone was stolen before the murder attempt. Okay, so I wouldn't have communications after they shot me. It was stolen, and then I found it planted behind the nightstand that Rosie Rodriguez has leaned over. And what it looked like is these two, Rosie and April, waited for the other police to leave the room, and then she planted a stolen cell phone. And the reason I know that you know, the smoking gun was a lie that she made up on the police report, and said Buddy said that his phone wasn't charged, or his battery wasn't charged, so he crawled out and screamed for help. And Buddy never said that. She knew they stole my cell phone, disconnected my home phone lines before shooting me, and that was premeditated capital attempted murder. These are cold-blooded killers. I'm telling you, that whoever shot me is a cold-blooded killer planning my murder in advance, and they're getting these dirty cops to help them murder innocent homeowners that are reporting crime to the police. That's what makes it so bad. Under this here, I'm going to show you. I said, okay, CSI Marty Barrett stated on the police reports that he picked up my shotgun from my home, but he didn't mention a tripwire, nor did any of the other 10 police except dirty cop Rosie Rodriguez. Furthermore, there's no tripwire in evidence because there never was a tripwire except in the criminal mind of this dirty cop that was caught covering up a home invasion and failed murder that was going to give my home to her lifelong friend. That was the ex-wife who she went to grade school with, okay? And so here, I'm going to show you on the police reports here. This is from Tony Barrett. He's the crime scene investigator. And he writes on this police report, here's at 1:29:10, approximately 12:10. Okay, I received evidence from Officer Chandler that include a pistol and a wallet. I then proceeded to 3802 Fair Circle to process the crime scene. I photographed the scene with a digital camera. I collected the evidence from the scene that included a shotgun. And you notice that there was no there was no tripwire. He mentions no tripwire, and this guy's the crime scene investigator. He's the expert. He's the one that checked in almost all the evidence. And then here's where he checked in the shotgun, right? A shotgun I was never shot with. You know, they shot me with a handgun loaded with a special bullet to make it appear that I was shot with my shotgun. That's proven already too. Okay, so let's go back to Here, the next one. On December 18, 2013, this dirty cop, Detective Rosie Rodriguez, testified under oath that she found a tripwire on my shotgun. This was a bold-faced lie and made a mockery out of our justice system. This is called aggravated felony perjury. This was in a court hearing right here. And says, it's Midland Detective Rosie Rodriguez sworn testimony here. And answer, that's what shooting occurred. Question, did he give you consent to go in his house? Yes, ma'am. Okay, what did you ever locate a weapon? Yes. What type of weapon? A 12 gauge shotgun. And where did you locate the weapon? It's the kitchen. There's like a little hallway. In the hallway, there's a laundry room, like a microwave. Then it leads in the garage. It's going to be in the little hallway right there, the utility room. And where was the weapon? On the ground. Okay, was there anything tied to the weapon? There was a tripwire that went across from one wall, from the south wall to the north wall, and it was connected to the shotgun. And that's an absolute bold-faced lie. There was no tripwire evidence. None of the other 10 officers mentioned a tripwire. Proof shows I wasn't shot with my gun. Rosie Rodriguez perjured herself in court, aggravated felony perjury, and that was to cover up a premeditated capital attempted murder. Okay, and so she needs to be charged to the fullest for that. Destroyed my life. And then there are multiple proofs showing that I wasn't shot with my gun. This was a premeditated, cold-blooded murder, and God saved my life. And keep in mind that I was reporting burglar alarms going off in my attic when I shot, and now there's 50 other homeowners documented, reported people in the attic. Over a dozen addresses in Midland. 3 women told me they were drugged and raped after reporting people in the attic. That's what's going on. One more today. I heard about somebody, a home reporting people in the attic in Midland today. It's going on all over the place. That's one of the proofs in itself. And then all here, absolute undeniable proofs showing that I wasn't shot with my gun. The size of pellets removed from my foot were 2.5 sizes different than what was in my gun. Ballistic evidence shows I was not shot with my gun. Doctor said he removed a large amount of plastic, which wouldn't be there if I had shot myself with a 12 gauge shotgun. Lisa Rogers documented telling me that I was shot with a .45 handgun. I believe that to be true because that fits the tight space requirements in that tiny room. CSI Marty Barrett checked in live shells from my gun, but not any empty shells that would be there if I'd shot myself. And anybody knows anything about a pump shotgun, if I had shot myself with that gun, that empty shell would have been in the chamber of that gun, and that CSI couldn't get the live shells out until he removed the empty shells. And that's what I just said. The CSI did not check in an empty shell, but he did check on the live shells. And the reason is because I was not shot with my gun. Reported burglar alarms going off in my attic. Now homeowners all over reported people in the attic. Shot with burglar alarms going off that was recorded on a stolen voice recorder. I had told the police about the voice recorder, had recorded the burglar alarms going off, and they stole it. That's what happened. We know who did it. There's an absolute record of it. 11 police accidentally started a camera and caught themselves staging the crime scene. Took 6 years and a $2,000 award to get them identified. Police caught lying on police reports and tampering with evidence. Matt Davis, the sergeant, admits to stealing evidence. He's bragging on my YouTube channel, says, buddy, I stole the evidence and nobody's going to find out. And he was talking about the voice recorder. 5 police were at or inside my home when they were not seen arriving on the security cameras. That Davis, Dickey, Chatwell, and Angel in Hell. That means they were under my home, and when somebody under my home that shot me. Secret police remained secret for 6 years with a reward offered for their identity. Unheard of. It was lawlessness is what's going on here. Multiple people documented saying that tunnels, underground homes are here. One guy was running for sheriff. I mean, how much better of a witness can you get than that? And then Google Maps is showing a large building in my backyard that can't be seen from above ground. That got removed after I notified the city of Midland. It was there for 10 years, though. Concrete poured 2 weeks after showing DHS where a human trafficking murder tunnel was located. I got that on video, went viral. Proof of x-rays being faked at the hospital. They took the x-rays of somebody else who had been shot with a shotgun, put my name on them, and then tried to pawn them off as mine. And, you know, that's what happened. Proof of security cameras being faked. I got a video on it, and proof of the press hiding these huge stories from the public to assist in these capital crimes against innocent homeowners that are reporting crimes against the police, in Midland. Burglaries. Here we go. Let's go to the next one. The former boyfriend of my ex-wife, Arthur Welch, posted this to his Facebook in 2020 and said that he overheard her planning my murder with her police friends to steal life insurance. It came out in court that dirty cop and Detective Rosie Rodriguez was a lifelong friend of the ex-wife, as they had gone to grade school together. And you know what? I think she's still a cop. I really do. And there's no telling how many times that she's done this. Somebody told me she worked on Jasmine's case, that little 15-year-old that everybody believes was raped and murdered, and they're calling it was just natural sex. Y'all remember that one? Anyways, I was told that was a Rosie Rodriguez case. Arthur Welch, cops were recorded hiding evidence and laughing about this man being shot. I was dating this guy's ex-wife when I overheard her talking, and from the things I heard, she had tried to have him killed for insurance money, and to hear how many police were involved. One, her longtime personal friend. That's Rosie Rodriguez. I won't let Buddy Wayne Webb be laughed at. Her final words to me was, "I'll have you shot too." That's what the former boyfriend of the ex-wife said. We found out at that hearing in court that, here Rosie and the ex-wife are all sitting next to each other, and they're buddies, all visiting and everything. So my attorney asked them, says, "Do y'all know each other?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, we went to elementary school together and junior high. They've been friends all their life. I mean, since they were little grade school buddies, Here's a message I got tonight. This is just amazing. I couldn't believe this. Chance Rayner. You do realize the private detective you paid some money for completely lied to you. Only a few names he gave you were right. Trust me, MPD has tons of laughs about how he messed with you, right? He thinks that's funny. He thinks a premeditated capital attempted murder that leaves an innocent homeowner crippled for life, a guy that was reporting crimes to corrupt police, funny. He thinks that's funny, right? Dirty cops is funny, it just goes all over me, because I bet he thinks it's funny they murdered that little girl at the Oso party too that had police there. Anyway, here's my reply. If MPD knew a PI was stealing and lying, then why wasn't he arrested? Doesn't that make sense, right? And furthermore, it's very clear that we have some extremely dirty cops working for MPD. Rosie Rodriguez is one of them. It's proven they tampered with evidence and falsified police reports in this premeditated capital attempted murder. Remember, I'm home minding my own business. They had to come to my home with guns, cut my phone lines, and shoot me, right? The last time I saw your name, you were wanted by the feds. I'm talking about Chance. Somebody said you were pretending to be DEA because you had a drug problem. Is that right? And didn't you work for John Woodward when he was the Martin County Sheriff? He was said to be the first secret police to show up at my home minutes after a premeditated murder attempt. I suspected that he was under my home when I was shot, and that would explain that. Were you there too? And for the record, back in 2012, when the would-be killers under my home cut my phone lines and shot me by surprise, all I had was this crazy story of burglar alarms going off in my attic and somebody under my home shooting me by surprise, and then pictures of what looked like police in my home staging the crime scene, but no police reports saying who they were. That ain't the case anymore. Now there are multiple proofs showing that I wasn't shot with my gun, and that makes me the crippled victim of a premeditated capital attempted murder, and those would-be killers are still walking free, which means they're free to break into your home and murder you and your family. You can thank MPD for that. There are over 50 other homeowners now documented as reporting people in the attic with more than a dozen addresses in Midland. 3 women told me they were drugged and raped after reporting people in the attic to the police. I heard of another one today, and you can thank MPD for this too. And multiple people documented as saying that tunnels and underground homes are here, with one of those being a recent candidate for sheriff, along with supporting evidence from Google Maps. In fact, it's believed a young girl was murdered at a party down there during the 2010 oil show, and the previous owner of my home is suspected of being murdered the week before the 2008 oil show started. In fact, a local businessman told me that 4 people had been murdered, died in my home before the murder attempt. And then we have the 11 secret police that accidentally started a camera and caught themselves stealing evidence, planning evidence, and staging the crime scene of this capital crime. It took 6 years and a $2,000 award to get them identified. I call them the first known secret police since Nazi Germany. That is a new level of dirty cop. The year after the PI identified them, it was found out there was a police report that had been illegally withheld by the police. It had been subpoenaed in 2013. They just snuffed their nose at the law. This report showed that 6 of the 11 police had not been dispatched and their names were illegally omitted from the report. As you know, that is 6 felonies. And the facts are the cameras show 11 people and so we know 6 names are missing. More importantly, that long withheld report timestamped 5 police officers, Davis, Dickey, Chatwell, Angel, and Hale, at or inside my home that were not seen arriving on the security cameras that seen Woodward and Naylor minutes earlier. And since all doors and windows were secured with extra locks, then that is what proved those police entered my home from the now removed trapdoor the ex-wife had told me about. They were under my home, and it was somebody under my home that tried to murder me. This means these dirty cops were the would-be killers, or they knew who is. Here's a video that I think you and your friends will laugh about. It makes decent people sick. And that's the rape video. It's the clip, people in the attic story clip. It's been seen by almost 2,000 people. And I'm gonna show you here at the top. I copied and pasted this story, and then I put some comments under it. Chance Rayner, here you go. A former MPD sergeant, this is the guy that commented and thought it was so funny, was arrested twice in 2 weeks. He's charged with public intoxication, child endangerment, and is now currently in federal custody and under federal investigation. Alex Archuleta, Midlands County Current District Clerk, was booked for DWI on June 10th. Okay. And so there it is right there. Chance Rayner, that's his picture. Okay. As seen above, former MPD Sergeant Chance Rayner told me that the PI had ripped me off and lied about the identification of the secret police. And I asked him if MPD knew a PI was stealing in line, then why wasn't he arrested? Doesn't that make sense? Ain't that what they do? Isn't that their job? Now that we know this is a capital murder attempt case, then I would think these charges may be bigger than just fraud. And furthermore, we'd want to pull his license. If this PI lied, he could go to prison for that, right? I mean, doesn't that make sense? I mean, the obstruction of justice in a capital attempted murder case? You're just lying about police officers? You don't think police would not take that personal and want to arrest him? Here's where the PI, and that was Stephen Powell with Empire Private Investigation, text me. I copied and pasted this from his text message on my phone that day. That's where all these names come from. Rosie Rodriguez, April Chandler, Tony Dickey, Greg Chatwell, Greg Nelson, Marty Barrett, Chad Simpson, Mike Naylor, Mark Gilliam, Michael Glick, and John Woodward. Here's the pictures that they were caught on camera. Remember, they tried to disable the camera and accidentally got caught. Okay. This is a spreadsheet, and that lays it out a little better. In the left-hand column is the names of the secret police that the PI gave me. In the middle column is the names that came from the police report that had been illegally withheld for 7 years. Keyword illegally. The third column is the names of the police here on the second entry, 3 days later, 2/1/12, which was 3 days later. They were pretending they hadn't been in my home on 1/29/12, staging the crime scene, and didn't know they'd accidentally got caught on camera. Y'all seen that in other videos there, where, oh yeah, we got to get the bomb squad. It's not safe in Buddy's home. But they didn't know they'd accidentally started the camera, got caught, planting my stolen cell phone. They stole my spare shotgun shells, knowing that would prove this is a murder attempt, etc. So here's the right-hand column, and this one shows what the private investigator gave me. These are the names I read off. And here's the police reports for 1/28/12 and 1/29/12. The 1/28/12 and 1/29/12 reports were withheld for 7 years. It had been subpoenaed. They illegally withheld it. That's the names on them. And here's the people that were in the house on the second entry. And the only one in common, the whole thing, Rosie Rodriguez. Maybe Dylan Hale. I think Dylan Hale was down here too, okay? And then at the bottom, I break it down and say 611 were not dispatched. Their names were illegal and missing, etc. Okay. And here on the last one, I'm going to close this video out for you. Rhonda, okay, was Chance Rayner's wife, and it seemed here she was making up lies and smearing my name in the public to cover up these capital crimes and murders. It's a low-life thing to do, seeing how I'm the crippled victim of a premeditated murder attempt, and I think it might be a crime, harassing the witness or victim of a capital crime. The irony is that I've been reporting repeated burglaries to my home before I was ambushed and shot with my phone lines cut during a burglary. It's now
now known that police were under my home, and I suspected it was police that let out the trapped burglar from my bathroom after I'd survived the murder attempt. I wonder if Rhonda was at those underground parties based on her rude message here. We're going to go over this. This has never been seen. I don't think I've ever put this in a video right here. Okay, here's Rhonda Jean Strain Rayner. Also wondered if she was related to that dirty Texas Ranger, Jeffrey Strain. I did recently talked about him. Okay, so remember, see her, maybe her name Strain there. I wondered if she was, related to him. And remember, I told you we found out that Strain was junior high buddies with Secret Police April Chandler. Okay, he was assigned my case, and come to find out, he was like close friends with the Secret Police, lifelong close friends. Anyway, moving on. Oh my gosh, the cops are not crooked. You are crazy, and that is all it is. No one but Glossop dude, and he's just as nuts as you are, cares about these outrageous, insane claims you make against the police. Please stop these insane ramblings. You need help. Please find a psychologist or a therapist or someone to help you. If you can't afford it, I would be more than willing to get you help. Just please stop. Not all these cops are bad. Have you ever thought that maybe it's just you that is wrong? Why would multiple agencies want to harm you? That is nuts. Please stop your outrageous posts and get some help. I've already showed so much evidence. We know these cops are dirty. That doesn't mean all cops are dirty. I'm counting on the good cops to arrest the dirty cops and stop them from murdering somebody else or covering up murders. I assure you that this was a real police call from this weekend, and I would appreciate that you get your facts straight before you slander me in the public. Some of my other posts are real police scanner broadcasts too. This is public information. Here we go. I've read your rants, reviewed the reports, and nothing you say matches up with the reports. Because the reports are falsified? As for the secret police, I've seen Mr. Glossop name several of the officers, so I'm not sure why you keep saying unnamed. Okay, we're talking about the secret police, because there's no police report. It took 7 years to get the police report. And as for slander, you're posting officers' photos and accusing them of countless crimes. Some of these officers are good, law-abiding, law-upholding citizens that you are accusing of horrible crimes. Now, who is really slandering somebody? I'm stating facts and showing the evidence. And here she puts, as previously stated, I really think you need professional help with schizophrenia. And this is smearing my name in public. I think maybe we need to look at arresting her and charging her with harassing the victim of capital crime, because I got a feeling she knows a little bit more about these underground homes, $1 million parties, and maybe a whole bunch more about these dirty cops and how they're covering up murder of little girls and people breaking into attics all over Midland, raping women in their house and drugging them and breaking into homes and murdering homeowners. This Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.